Alrighty. Thanks, everyone. So let me just put it right out there. Most technical analysis really sucks. Some of it's kind of embarrassing, actually. I see people that, I think they're a disgrace to the profession. And when you get into these things like GAN theory and Elliott wave, no one in the institutional world uses that stuff. It's just kind of science fiction. People overthink this stuff, right? My philosophy is technical analysis is understanding which price levels are important, what's the momentum, what's the trend, and what's the psychology. For example, well, let me back up for a second here. Because regardless of what you're trading, whether you're a bond trader, a crypto trader, a stock trader, people experience the same emotions. It's these emotions that create the price action that can manifest itself as a pattern on a chart. So we see the same things, right? So here we're looking at oil, and it's very common thing in markets for them to find support at a price level that had been support before. This is driven by emotions. It's driven by seller's remorse. Here we have oil, right? Back here in March of last year, people sell right around 67.30. Then the price reverses and goes higher. A lot of the people who sold experience seller's remorse and they say, I made a mistake. If it gets back to my level, I'm going to buy my, in this case, oil back. But I don't want to pay more than I sold it for, so I'm going to wait for it to get back to my sell price. Then I'm going to place a buy order. So seller's remorse can make remorseful sellers place buy orders at the level that was support before, and that keeps the support intact. All right. Here in June of 23 and May, and then December, and then this year in September, and getting there close now. So another couple dollars, there's a good chance we get a bounce here. There'll be some tradable ideas. Now, why does something rally off of support? This is due to what I call buyer's anxiety. Some of the people that want to buy start to sense there's other buyers coming into the market. If a market is going down, there's not enough demand or there's not enough buy orders to absorb all of the supply. If it stops going down, well, then we can assume all of a sudden there is enough demand or there are enough buyers around. So some of these buyers start to think like, oh man, I don't want to miss out here. I know the sellers are going to go to whoever is willing to pay the highest price. So I better boost the price that I'm willing to pay by a little bit. Another anxious seller might be like, oh, wow, look at what that person's doing. They're increasing their price. I'm going to increase my price too. And you get this bidding war that becomes a snowball effect, which pushes the price higher. So here we have oil. We're going to go look at Centene here. And these are just random stocks I went through this morning. It's like I said, you can see these same patterns on various charts. Now, this is a health services company. So support back here. We could actually even take that back a little bit more to here. March of 23, we find support around 61.25 and rally. May, get to the same price. What happens? We find support. August, we find support. And now the market goes into a free fall. I don't know what happened. I guess there was some kind of news probably. And where did it find support? At just some random price level? No, it found support at the level that was support before. So one, two, I could even put this over here. All right. So remember, people sell, price goes higher. They say, I made a mistake. If it gets back to my price, I'm buying my, in this case, shares back. If you have enough remorseful sellers placing buy orders, the level that was support can remain support. And here we are over a year later, and the market goes into a free fall. And where does it find support? So if you know where these price levels are, something's trending lower and you're wondering, where should I buy this? If it's getting close to a level that had been support before, it's a good chance that that's where it finds a bottom and potentially reverses. Let's go look at Dollar Tree. And this is a good example as well. It's also an example of market memory. These price levels that are important can remain important for a long time, could be weeks, months, even years. So, way back here in the COVID crash, March of 20, this is where Dollar Tree found a bottom. Fast forward 4.5 years or 5 years or whatever it is, market goes into a sell off. Where does it find support? At pretty much the exact same price. So March of 20, we find support. September of 24, we find support. And looks like we're starting to rally here. You can see here support in September of 20 around 84.60. And then in September of 21. So a year later, support at the same level. Up here around 127. Support in January of 22, May of 22. June of 23. So we get to support. Seller's remorse creates a lot of buying. Anxious buyers start to bid against each other. It starts a bidding war that pushes the price higher. Let's see. Here's another one here. MGPI. MGP Ingredients. Now, this one isn't quite there yet, but I would have this on the radar screen for a potential reversal. So support around 57.70 back in March of 21, June of 21, July of 21. Now we're going into a free fall. We're getting close. As a matter of fact, we got down to about 59 on Friday. Today's Monday. So that's something else to keep an eye on there. And then I guess the last thing we're going to look at today would be Mara. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Moderna. That's what I wanted to look at. And look at this, right? So the 116 price level, support in March of 21, March of 22, June of 22, October of 22. This price level down here, 55, was support back in September of 20. And guess what? Stocks had a real long trip, got all the way up to about 500. Wow, that's quite a sell-off. Anyway, now we're down to about 50, 55. So look at where we find support in November, right around 55. That's where we are right here. So just remember, everybody, there tends to be support at levels that were support before because of seller's remorse, and markets tend to rally off of support because of buyer's anxiety. All right, I hope this helps, and I will see you all soon. Thanks, everyone.